Today's lesson is on comparing fractions on a number line. Students will place mixed numbers and improper fractions on a number line and compare mixed numbers to improper fractions using a number line. Let's get started. So here we have this number line drawn on the board. We're going to continue the pattern in the numerators and the denominators to complete the number line. So we can use the number lines to show mixed numbers as well. Let's first start by completing this. So if we look at the top row, we have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. Now what's going to come next if we continue this pattern? Well, we're going to have 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, and then we're going to have 8/4. So we can use this to show mixed numbers as well. So in the bottom of the number line, we're going to show the mixed numbers. So this here is 1/4 more than 1 because we have 1. Now we need 1/4 more. So it is 1 and 1/4 then. We have 1 whole, but we also have 1/4. And then we can see this as 5/4. So the next mark, we're going to have 1, and then how many fourths? We're still in 1. Then we're going to have 2/4. Then we're going to have 1 and 3/4. Then our next number is going to be 2. So this makes it particularly easy for us to convert between the mixed numbers and the improper fractions. We know that two numbers are equal when they're at the same place in the number line. So we know that 5/4 is equal to 1 and 1/4 because they're at the exact same place in the number line right here. We know that 6/4 is exactly equal to 1 and 2/4 because they're exact same spot on that number line. Now on your whiteboards, I want you to write the equivalent mixed number. So remembering from last day, how did we do this if we didn't have a number line? If you need to go back to your model notes, you may, or if you want to draw yourself a number line to be able to complete these, you may. Then you're going to resume your screencast when you are done. Okay, so hopefully you've worked through these, and let's just go over the answers quickly. So for A, you should have found the equivalent or the same would have been 1 and 3/4 because we know we could do, sorry, I don't want to review that. We're going to go into B. So B, the answer you should have found should have been 1 and 1/4. And you should have found the answer to be C, or for C to have been 2. Okay, let's continue on. So here's exercise 2. We're going to do this one together. It says finish the number line and then write the equivalent mixed number or improper fraction. So for A, we need to let's first finish the little number line. So we have 5/5. Then we're going to have, because these are in order, we're going to have 6/5. We're going to have 7/5, 8/5, and 9/5. Then this one would be 10/5. So we're just counting up each time. Now if we wanted to have the whole number underneath, or sorry, the mixed number underneath, we know that we have 1, and then from here to here would be 1/5. Our whole number is still 1. Now we have 1, 2, so it would be 2/5. Now we have 1, 2, 3, so it's going to be 1 and 3/5. And then we have 1 and 4/5. So we're looking for the equivalent to what is already given to us. So equivalent means the same. So what is equivalent to 7/5? Well, if I find 7/5 on the number line, which is right here, I know the exact same or equivalent mixed number is going to be, so I'm going to show that with an equal sign because they're equal, is going to be 1 and 2/5. Now I want you to use the number line to show me the equivalent fractions of B, C, and D. Then resume your screencast. So let's just do a review here quickly of how to change an improper fraction to a mixed number by using division. So this is what we learned last day. So what number is equivalent to 16/8 is the question we're going to solve. So how could we do this without drawing the number line? Well, we learned last week that we could use division in order to do this. So we're going to do 16 divided by 8. If we do 16 divided by 8, we're going to find that the answer is 2. So just by simply changing an improper fraction to a mixed number, we can do, it's really easy when that answer is going to be a whole number. So our answer here is just 2. There's no fraction involved. So what number is equivalent to 16/8? The answer is going to be 2. It divides nice and easily. So remembering changing an improper fraction to a mixed number is easy when the answer is a whole number. We're going to just divide the numerator by the denominator. Okay, so let's do these on our whiteboard. What is the improper fraction equivalent to? So 24/4, so what's that equivalent to? You're going to solve that by using division. So it's 24 divided by 4. The answer you should find is 6. Complete B, C, D, E, and F on your whiteboards and then resume your screencast. Now, we're going to change a whole number to an improper fraction with a given denominator. Okay, so first equation we have on the board here is 15/3. How do we find the whole number? Well, we can easily do this by doing division. So 15 divided by 3, you should be able to tell me, is going to be 5. Okay, now we're going to do this equation on the board. What divided by 5 is equal to 3? So we have something we don't know divided by 5 is equal to 3. Well, how are we going to solve this? So this is our missing number. We need to know the opposite. We need to know the opposite operation of division. So we know the opposite operation of division is multiplication. So if we take this and we do 3, we reverse it, times 5 equals the number we're looking for. So that's going to give us that unknown. So we know 3 times 5 is 15. So the number on top that we're looking for is 15. Now if we use this on a number line, we could also solve this by skip counting. So skip counting is the same as multiplying. So if you need a number line to solve it, you may always use one. Let's find this one. So how do we find the missing number? So we know we have a missing number dividing by 10 to give me the equivalent number of, or divided by 2, sorry, to give me 10. So what divided by 2 equals 10? Well, I can turn this around and do the opposite multiplication. So 10 times 2 is going to be our unknown number. What is our unknown number then? It's going to be 20. So 20 divided by 2 equals 10. So there's your answer to that one. So we're going to write the missing numerator. Okay, so for here we're given 2, which equals blank over 3. So how do we solve this? Well, what is this missing number? Okay, so the missing number divided by 3 is going to equal 2. Well, you're going to do the opposite operation. So 2 times 3 is going to give you your missing number. So what is 2 times 3? The missing number is going to be 6. Give B, C, and D a try, and then resume your screencast. So we're going to find and label the mixed numbers and improper fractions between 5 and 6 on this number line that we're given. So we have a number line here. How many parts is the number line divided into? Well, we have 1 part here, 2, 3, and 4. So the number line is divided into 4. This 4 is going to become our denominator because that's how many parts our number line is divided into. So in all these boxes, we're going to write our denominator. Our denominator never changes. It's always, as I write a 5, our denominator never changes. It's always going to stay the same. So it's going to be 4 no matter what. Okay, so 4, 4, and 4. Now, what mixed number is going to go into this first box? So if this is 5, this is 6, the number is going to be 5, obviously, that's a whole number. And then how many parts is from here to here? Well, it's 1/4, 1/4. Our whole number is going to be 5. Now we're going 1 part two parts, so it's going to be 5 2/4, and then 5 3/4. Well, if we want to put improper fractions on the top, we're still going to be using the denominator 4. But how do I figure out these top numbers? How do I solve this? So we're going to do this by how we know to turn this into our strategy. So here, if I have 5, I'm going to take my whole number and I'm going to times it by the denominator. So 5 times 4 is going to be 20. So our numerator is 20. Here, 4, our denominator times the whole number is 5, plus 1. So 21. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2, 22, then 23, and then 24. Let's complete these two examples together. So first we need to find how many parts this number line is divided into. So this number line we can see is divided into 5 parts. So that is going to be our denominator is going to be 5. Now we need to find out the numerator. So we need to we're going to do our denominator times this whole number. So 5 times 2 is 10. That's going to be our starting numerator, and then we're going to do 5 times 3, which is going to give us 15 for this numerator over here. Now we could easily fill in the rest of this number line. You know, the next one would be 11 over 5, and so on until you get to up to 3. Now if we want to fill in the mixed numbers at the bottom, we know that this one would be 2, and it's 1/5. Then we could continue 2 2/5, 2 3/5, 2 4/5 to get us to 3. Now let's look at B. So we have 8 and 9. We can see that this number line is divided into 3 parts, so our denominator is going to be 3. Now we're going to take our whole number and multiply it by our denominator. So we're going to get a numerator of 24. This one is going to then be our denominator 3 times 9, which is going to be 27. Now for the mixed numbers on the bottom, the whole number is going to be 8, and we know this is 1, so it's 1/3. All right, let's move on. So let's just remember as a reminder that numbers on the left side of the number line are lesser or smaller, and numbers on the right are greater or bigger. Here's some exercises for you to complete on your whiteboard by using the greater than, less than, or equal sign. To complete, when you're done, you can resume your screencast. And then here's another exercise for you to complete on your whiteboard. When you're done, resume. And your assignment to complete today is page 150 of your Jump Math book. You're going to check in with me when you are finished.